Shalom Temple Israel. I hope you're staying dry on this rainy day. And whenever it rains and I make my videos inside, people always comment that they like the windows in our kitchen. And we like them too. That was one of the reasons Heidi and I really liked this house. This Shabbat, we will read the Torah portion of Chaye Sarah. And we continue the story of Abraham and Sarah who dies at the beginning of the Torah portion. But this week, the main focus of the story is the changing of the generations. Sarah passes away at the beginning of the Torah portion. Abraham spends most of the Torah portion worrying about the family burial plot in Hebron and then about finding a wife for his son Isaac. Then at the end of the Torah portion, Abraham himself dies, and Isaac and Rebekah become the second generation of the Jewish people. But there's one scene in this parsha that I've always found really very touching, and it takes place towards the end. Abraham's servant, who tradition calls Eliezer, has brought Rebekah back from Haran and introduces her to Isaac. And it seems to be love at first sight. Isaac takes Rebekah into the home. They are married, and Isaac is comforted for the first time since the death of his mother. He's able to feel happiness again as he builds a new relationship. And the Midrash, the rabbinic legend, comments that 3 miracles took place in the household. 3 miracles that stopped when Sarah had died, but came back when Isaac married Rebekah. That each week the flame, the candle that was lit, would last from one Shabbat to the next. And the second miracle was that there was a divine cloud that protected the family, that stayed around the camp. And finally, the bread that was made in the house, the challah, was blessed. It was extra good. And the image of this midrash, of this legend, is one that we can really relate to as Jews. When we think of some of the important parts of a Jewish home, we think about the candlesticks, the candles that we light at the beginning of Shabbat, and we also think about challah, about the bread that we eat on Friday night and Saturday. In fact, for my kids, the challah is really one of the most important parts of Shabbos. They've been eating it in preschool back in Louisville and here as well in Charlotte. And they know it's the special Shabbos bread. So even though probably in the ancient Near East they did not light candles the way that we did, and they did not eat challah on Friday the way that we do, the rabbis imagine these ancient characters in the Torah living Jewish lives much the way that we do, and designing Jewish homes that look like the Jewish homes that we try to build today. And this year, as we spend so much time in our home, when our homes have become our temples, when our homes have become our synagogues because we can't go into them, we have to think about what do we do to make our homes distinctly Jewish. Looking around your house, you can probably start at the front door and see the mezuzah hanging that marks this as a Jewish home, a little box with the scroll of the Shema. We have a mezuzah on every single door in and out of our house, and all of the bedrooms, and all of the doorways in the houses. You can look around and see the books that you have on the shelf. Do you have prayer books and chumashim or other Jewish books? You can look at the ritual items that you have. But more than just physical items, we look at what values we bring into our home. What values do we teach our children? How are they influenced by the Torah and by Jewish tradition? We know that the best way to teach a Jewish identity and to pass on the traditions that are sacred to us is to practice them at home. So as we read Parshat Chaye Sarah this week, and we imagine Isaac and Rebekah lighting Shabbat candles, enjoying Kiddush and Motzi, much the way that we do, we consider what is it about each of our homes that makes them distinctly Jewish. Shabbat Shalom.